So I failed to introduce myself earlier. My name is Jen. I am the kids pastor here. You'll also be hearing from Evan, our middle school pastor. Our high school pastor, Cody, is walking the Camino, so not sure the time difference if he's physically walking right now, but he is on his 3-month sabbatical, and so we're really excited for him. And somewhat in his place is Todd File. He is our summer intern. We are so excited to have Todd. Yeah, you can give him, the kids want to give him a hand. We're so excited to have him. Todd's been serving in youth ministry. I just found out this week that he started with middle schoolers and has kind of kept moving on up for the last 5 years. So we love that. That's part of our culture here at McBick, and we're so grateful to have Todd, who gets kind of a sneak peek of what ministry looks like outside of the regular meeting times. So, as I said earlier, our theme today is experiencing God. And so today you're going to hear stories of how kids, teens, leaders, and families have all experienced God through our ministries. And our hope is to communicate and show that our programs and events are much more than glorified babysitting and goofy games. They are places where kids and students are meeting with God, experiencing His presence and being changed for the good because of it. And as leaders and families are connected to these ministries, they too are experiencing God's nearness, encouragement, and transformation. So I have the privilege of introducing these awesome kids and teenagers behind. I'm just going to grab a microphone. So they're going to share how they personally have experienced God through our kids and student ministry. So first up is Kaylee Hawk, and she is in 5th grade, and she will share for us.
Hello, my name is Kaylee Hawk. I'm a 5th grader here at McBick, and I will be going into middle school very soon. My 5th grade leaders are Jim Hess and Alyssa Miller. They have both been my leaders since kindergarten. Being with Mr. Jim and Miss Alyssa for 6 years has been really special for me. I am thankful for all of the things they've taught me about Jesus and for the ways they've prayed for me. This year, I have had the chance to act in First Service Large Group. Mr. Jim teaches in large group once a month, and this year he asked us 5th graders to help him act out the story to help the kids understand it better. Sometimes he has had us sing songs about the story too. I like how when I act, I am teaching kids about Jesus and how He can help you in every situation you cross. I like this because even though I am still pretty young, I got the chance to lead kids in grades younger than me. Something I struggled that I have learned in my class and during acting is that God is always with me. I struggle with anxiety, and when I try to do things on my own, I get really anxious. Now that I know God is with me, I can trust God to help me with anything I need. He gives me peace in my heart, and He is more powerful than any other thing on the earth. Worship is very important to me. I really like that kids get to be part of second service in here during the singing time. When I sing, it feels like God is right beside me, hugging me tight, giving me peace and loving me. I hope this is how a lot of other people feel during worship time, feeling like they are getting hugged by God, like God is telling people He is with them. Kids ministry has helped me so much in the years of elementary school as I learned to follow Jesus. I am thankful for everyone who has helped me as I am growing up. Because of this, I am excited to learn more in middle school. I hope other kids and adults grow to know Jesus by meeting with other people in the church like I did.
Thank you. Yes, you just got to hear, right? Even as a 5th grader, she's serving too, which we love that. So next up is Emily Miller.
So I have really had the chance to grow up in this church. I have really been here since I was a baby, and I have really been blessed to be surrounded by a church family that really values children learning through these programs. And while I haven't had one constant leader through middle school, right now I am very blessed to have Tammy Wilburn as my leader, and she has just provided me with so much wisdom and insight this year, and that has been such a blessing. And I have really seen my faith grow so much through middle school, just because of my involvement with McBick. I really am able to sense God's presence. That's been one thing that has grown so much through middle school. And another big thing for me has just been the friendships and connections that I've been able to build through going to youth group. I have always been in a situation where it's like I'm looking forward to Sunday and youth group on Wednesday, and it's just like I have been very glad to just want this relationship with God. And especially through middle school, the people around me have really helped to support me and helped to bring me up. And I have also been very, very grateful for the youth retreats. Each year the theme is just always hits me right where I need to learn and grow. And also just the community that we get to build on those retreats is so amazing. So I honestly am just really blessed to call McBick my home church because of all of the people, all of the leaders and friends that I have been able to surround myself with here.
Thank you. Thanks, Emily. All right. Now we have Belle Fish, who is in kindergarten.
So my story is I like being part of kids ministry because Mr. Jeff and Pastor Jen listen to my questions and help me find answers. When they're done teaching, I like to ask questions about the parts I didn't understand, because then I can tell my mom and dad more about what I learned since they always ask me what I did in church. I have learned a lot of things in church. My teachers have shown me that and allowed me to practice prayer. I like praying for other people and them praying for me. Some nights I pray that God would take away my scary thoughts and replace them with good thoughts. When people are scared, I like that God is always with them and with me. I also like how God lets us be close to him when we need to. My favorite Bible story is Lazarus. I like that story because Jesus said, "Get up," and he did. In the story, Mary and Martha came to Jesus to tell him that Lazarus was sick. But Jesus waited 5 days before he went to help them. Lazarus died before he got there. I think Jesus waited 5 days to show his power and his love. The best thing I've learned from Mr. Jeff and Pastor Jen is that God took our punishment on the cross so we didn't have to do that.
Amen. Pastor Lane, your job might be in jeopardy right there. I think she just preached, right? Awesome job, Belle. We love you. All right, and next up is Chris Lund, who is a high school student.
So my story coming here is kind of interesting. I joined McBick around 2 years ago through a series of unfortunate events where my mother passed. And so I was in a dark space, but I got a recommendation actually from Pastor Jen for me and my dad to start coming. And ever since then, it's been absolutely mind-blowing with the amount of changes that's been evident in my life. My first time ever really appearing to anything was actually a summer thing that Salt and Light hosts called Impact, and ever since then I've just grown to love the community here because everybody, it's obvious how much you guys all cared for each other and how we are such a tight-knit group of people, and it always fascinates that, and I love that about this church. Something else that has been really good with me and has really helped me grow in my own faith is my connections and friends through youth group, which has been a really big part because often I don't really know what to do. And, when you're coming to believe, it's difficult to know what to do. And it's good to have those people that can help guide you. And also for my leaders, like Todd up there. Yeah, and since then, I've seen God work in me in so many ways, going out and having a heart to help people and put myself out there. And that's been a really big thing for me, is putting yourself out there, because you don't really know what could happen. And yeah. Thank you.
I want to just thank all of you for sharing your stories and being vulnerable in that way. So as we continue our time together, we wanted to give you not just hearing, but we also wanted to show pictures of what happens in our ministries. So the girls are going to sing a song, and there's going to be pictures up here. So kids, this is a challenge for you. We want you to see if you can spot some people you know. So kids out there, kind of have a little scavenger hunt and see if you can find people you know. Take a look.
Trouble knocking at my door today. I ain't gonna let it in. Worry wanna steal my joy away. I ain't gonna let it win. 'Cause on my best day, I'm a child of God. On my worst day, I'm a child of God. Oh, every day is a good day, and you're the reason why I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. Got this heartbeat in my chest. No, it doesn't matter about the rest. If I've got you, Lord, I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. Got this heartbeat in my chest. No, it doesn't matter about the rest. If I've got you, Lord, I'm so blessed. The problems that I see, hope looks all but gone. But when I count the ways you're good to me, you got me counting all day long. I'm so blessed, I'm so blessed. Got this heartbeat in my chest. No, it doesn't matter about the rest. If I've got you, Lord, I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed, I'm so blessed. Got this heartbeat in my chest. No, it doesn't matter about the rest. If I've got you, Lord, I'm so blessed. Best day, I'm a child of God. On my worst day, I'm a child of God. Oh, every day is a good day, and you're the reason why I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. Got this heartbeat in my chest. No, it doesn't matter about the rest. If I've got you, Lord, I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed. Got this heartbeat in my chest. No, it doesn't matter about the rest. If I've got you, Lord, I'm so blessed.
Yeah, we can clap for that. If you are one of the leaders who is speaking, you can come on up here. Yeah, the beautiful thing about that we just saw is that's the next generation. These are the kids that are growing up in this church and learning how to love Jesus well. And part of that, I mean, all of that is an amazing work of God, but part of that is also the responsibility of leaders like these. And so because you are youth leaders, you get to see a different angle of things, and you get to experience God in a different way. And so we would all love to hear your experiences. And so if you want to just share your name, where you serve, like what group you're with, that kind of thing, and just how you've experienced the Lord, that'd be great.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Moss. So I currently am the first grade teacher, the Sunday school class teacher, and I've always enjoyed teaching opportunities that have been given to me. In college, I had the opportunity to be a Bible study leader to younger women and disciple them. Working as a speech pathologist, I always loved the moments of aha for our younger preschool kids or even school-age kids, are those moments of joy when they find their voice. I've had the opportunity to serve in youth ministry for a year, but it was a wonderful year, and I love those girls. And now, in first grade, which I did get the approval of my son, and I feel like I've still maintained the cool mom vibe and not yet embarrassed him as being his leader. I think for me, what I love most about serving as a teacher is that every week when I prepare the message or look at the content, it just brings me back to those simple truths. The simple truths that I overlooked for such a long time, the truths that I didn't allow to take root deep in my heart until later in life. That, in him I have purpose, understanding, love, significance, security, and belonging. And so as I sit with the content, I just have excitement because of knowing what it's done for me. I have an excitement to share what it could do for the kids. I have an excitement about, well, how can I teach it in such a way so it's not just a mere thought, but that it's something that grows deeper, something that is meaningful to them. I don't want them to wait until their 30s to discover those simple truths and to experience the life that he desires for them. They're positioned now as children to experience the kingdom here on earth. A verse that stuck out to me as I was kind of thinking and processing as to what I was going to share was Matthew 18:3-5. And he said, "Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven. Therefore, whoever takes the lowly position of this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And whoever welcomes such children in my name welcomes me." Growing up with the mentality of independence and you're in control of your life, that was cultivated for me. And my legalism and religion cultivated more separation from him than the intimate relationship that he desired for me, and he desires for all of us. So honestly, I was very ignorant of those simple truths and what he desired for me. And it wasn't until recently through healing care and counseling and discipleship that I became more aware of those truths that I get to teach every week. Instead of pursuing the unrelenting demand of figuring it all out and being in control, God really wanted me to come to him like a child. He didn't want me to depend on myself anymore. He wanted me to depend on him. So if I can give anything to these kids is to know that they can do that even now. And they don't have to figure it all out on their own. So I'm very thankful through his leading and the opportunities he's presented me that he's bringing me back to him like a child as he desires to receive his truth and experience life. And I hope I can continue to cultivate that for the kids that he's provided to me to serve.
Awesome. Thank you, Chelsea.
My name is Emily Stauffer, and I'm in 10th grade. I'm a leader for the 4-year-old class on Sundays and a leader for the 6th grade girls in the youth group here. I love helping out with kids of all ages and helping them learn. All of my leaders in middle school youth group who I have now or I have had in the past have really made a big difference in my walk with Christ by talking with me and connecting with me, especially during small group time, and also by praying with me. I think it's really neat how I can pass along all the things that I'm currently learning or have learned to those who are younger than me, who I'm serving. Serving in kids ministry and middle school ministry has helped me to experience God through teaching others about Him. I love being a leader in the preschool class on Sunday mornings because I get the chance to help the preschoolers learn about Jesus and how He is their friend. Impacting kids and teaching them about something so important has given me the chance to be Jesus' hands and feet. So when I'm teaching a child about Jesus, I feel Jesus working in me because I'm serving His children and helping them to strengthen their relationship with Him. I've also experienced God in middle school ministry when I get the opportunity to pray and connect with the middle schoolers who are in my small group. Preschool to middle school is definitely a big jump, but I like how I can be with kids who are in different stages of their journeys with Christ. Sometimes words come to me when I'm praying, words that I know come from God because I wasn't thinking about them at all before they're out of my mouth, and it's those words that seem to have the biggest impact on those whom I'm praying for. James 1:17 says, "Every good and perfect gift is from above." So I know that the gift of helping kids on their walks with Jesus doesn't come from me, but it comes from the Lord. Teaching others about Jesus brings me closer to Him because I know that I'm serving Him while I serve others.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you.
My name is David Fish. I am the sophomore guys leader. Thanks, Daniel. So, being a part of youth group has shown me that God is invested in every stage of life. Even if they sometimes seem unimportant to us, He cares about the worries and struggles of a middle and high schooler just as much as an adult's. I try to remember how I felt when I was their age, and I didn't yet have the advantages of hindsight and perspective. It's with God's lens and those memories that I approach our students and try my best to offer a listening ear or counsel. Over the years, I've gotten a lot more comfortable praying for students. Being a part of this ministry has given me the opportunity to step out in faith and pray for people when God's given me a word for them. A few months ago when we were at Zateo, we were all worshiping, and I felt God tell me to go pray for a student about something specific. I had no idea if that thing would relate to the student at all, but I was like, okay, God, I'm trusting you. I went over to the student and I said, I have no idea if this is right on the nose, or way out in left field, but I felt God telling me to pray for you about this. 3 times God gave me a word to share, and all 3 times it was exactly what they were going through. It was amazing to see how God can move if we're willing to listen and follow. There have been a few times where a student has come up to me and asked what I needed prayer for. It can sometimes be a little intimidating to pray for someone older than you. I know I look super intimidating. I get it. But those moments have meant so much to me. I love seeing the physical and spiritual growth of my students. It's been powerful. I love watching how their interactions and discussions change over the years, from the surface level goofiness, which I love, to the deep questions and conversations, which I love even more. I'm truly blessed to be a part of this ministry.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, thank you all for sharing. This is something that has a huge part of my heart, is just investing in those who are younger. I grew up in youth ministry. I did it in middle school, and I do it now with David in high school, and it's a beautiful thing, not just to minister to others, but to be ministered to by the people that you're ministering to. So you guys can all have a seat. Thank you. Now, I'm actually going to turn it a little bit over to all of you, because it can be very tempting to hear other people's stories and we just say, okay, that's them, good for them, but what about for me? And so this is actually going to be a little bit of time for you to ask that question of what about me? So what I would like you all to do is just in the next couple of minutes, take a little bit of time to kind of center your hearts on where you saw the Lord at work in your own life within the past week, the past couple of weeks. And it can be something huge, like the Lord healed me of an illness. That's amazing, and we want to praise him for that. But it can also be the really small, seemingly insignificant things of, oh, it was a really nice sunrise the other day. Or for me, I was at high school youth and got to watch all of our seniors lead in new ways on senior takeover night. That was a massive blessing to me and something I want to give the Lord thanks for. So a little bit of music is going to come on, and so I just invite you to kind of respond in your own heart. Think of where you've seen the Lord at work, like I said, in the past week, past couple of weeks, and then thank him for that. And this, I think, will be a helpful way of truly centering ourselves on where we've experienced God. Not to pull you out of that, but there's a second part of this, now that hopefully you've had a little bit of time to come up with an idea, is I'd like you to turn to the person next to you or someone around you and share that way that you've experienced God with them. Of course, if it's super personal, feel free to keep that to yourself, but part of our commandment as disciples of Christ is to go and tell about what he's been doing in our lives. In John chapter 4, the Samaritan woman at the well has this amazing encounter with Jesus, and then she goes running into her village and says, "Come see a man who told me everything I ever did." And while I'm not asking you to share something that personal, what I am asking is that you'd be willing just to share a sliver of where you've seen the Lord at work recently in your life. And so I invite you to do that right here. And hopefully you'll continue to do this as we go out from this place too. But go ahead, turn to the people around you.
Alrighty. Thank you for joining in. If you were to kind of leaf through the Old Testament, you'd be amazed how many times you see God command his people to remember and do not forget. There's something about calling to mind how he has worked that both connects us to that moment in the past, but connects us to God here in the present and then gives us the strength that we need to go forward. So thank you for participating. We're going to hear from two more people. We've had kind of 3 pods of people sharing. We heard from our kids and students. We heard from some leaders who lead those people. But in ministry, there's kind of a ripple effect where those kids, those students, leaders go back to their homes, into their families. And so we're going to hear from a couple families who have been impacted by their child's, their students' experience in the ministry. So I want to first invite up Rachel and Adam Morehouse. They have a middle school student and a high school student, and they're going to share a little bit about how their students' involvement in ministry, what it's meant for them as a family. So thank you, guys.
I'm Adam, and one of the first feelings I experienced when our kids were able to become part of the youth ministry about 2 years ago was relief. That we had found a community where they were fully welcomed and included, and felt thankfulness that they could be in a community of people that were contributing to their spiritual lives and their spiritual health, and it wasn't just us on our own trying to encourage that. So we've seen a lot of growth over the past 2 years, from the first conversations after youth group nights. What did you do? I don't remember. How was it? Fine. And play-by-play descriptions of dodgeball and descriptions of the Holy Bowly, and then gradually starting talking about, oh, I remember we talked about this, and we talked about the 6 kinds of prayer, and we practiced 3 of them, and here are some of the conversations that we had with people. It's been really meaningful to see that growth and development in them. Both of our kids decided in the past year to take the step of baptism, and so that's a testimony to the ability that these decisions came out of conversations that were developing naturally in youth group and our family, and all of these different factors coming together to help them make that decision for that step. And we're so grateful for the community and the family that they've been a part of.
I'm Rachel. I would say when we landed at McBick a little more than 2 years ago, we were all weary and wary. And I especially felt a little bit guarded, kind of hopeful, but, but hurting. And at that time, so Elena was finishing 8th grade and Silas was finishing 5th grade. And Elena got to hop into a few youth groups right before the end of the year. And so then that fall, when we came to the big kickoff, Elena was going into 9th grade and Silas was going into 6th grade. So it was a big transition year for all of us. And I remember when we were all sitting out near the pavilion, and the youth leaders, the small group leaders, were invited to come up. And I just was sitting there experiencing this mass confusion, because I was like, which one is the youth leader? And it was all of you. I mean, I was just very confused for weeks. It's so amazing that every grade and gender has a devoted leader or two that is going to walk with these kids. And I didn't understand why you would give that time. But I came to see over the following months and years that there really is a culture here of loving and investing in our young people and viewing them as an important piece of the body, and not just kind of an add-on or this is what we do with a little bit of energy if there's some left over, but rather this is a groundswell of care that we have for our young people, believing that Christ is working in and through them. And Elena and Silas's youth leaders have showed up at their soccer games and band concerts and track meets. And I mean, it's just very clear that this is a real relationship that people are investing in deeply. And that has meant a huge amount to us as parents. I think, as Adam mentioned, just feeling like we have some co-laborers in growing our kids, and especially because we don't have any local family. And our families are wonderful, but they're just far. So we're so appreciative for the ways that other meaningful adults have tied into them. And I think I've also, as I've grown into parenting teens, I recognize that it's appropriate developmentally for them to differentiate from their parents and to recognize ways that's like, I'm not exactly like my mom in these ways, and that's absolutely positive and healthy. And having other adults around them that are showing and modeling the faith helps them to understand they don't actually have to split off from the faith in order to develop their own independence. But there's many, many ways to follow God and to represent that in your life. Then the second thing I wanted to share was just the element of belonging, which a number of the kids have talked about, and the way that the young people here are encouraged to both serve and to receive care in this community, I think shows them that they matter a lot, both for their giftings and their serving, as well as to be, so for both receiving and giving. And I love the way that that's modeled, including them in worship music and opportunities to serve and teach the younger children. So finally, just to share a quick story, when Silas came back from the middle school retreat, he was sharing with us a lot of the things that they had done and learned. He was like, but what I really need to do is I need to play this song for you. And so he pulled up a favorite song on the computer and played it on repeat for us a number of times to make sure that we had really grasped how great the song was. And it was very exciting to see him entering into worship and being so excited about participating in all the elements of the retreat. Thanks.
We're going to hear from one final couple here. I don't want to throw them under the bus, but their kids have graduated from ministry, so they're a step up from the others we've heard, but they have a great perspective of having kids gone through the ministry. This is Jen and Andrew.
Yeah, good morning. Our children are now grown, ages 24, 21, and 20, and they all grew up attending McBick. We're grateful for the many ways in which our three children were seen and known and loved throughout their time in nursery, children's ministry, and youth group. In addition to the love and care and direction that they received from McBick pastors and staff, they were the beneficiaries of long-term commitments of adult leaders that you've heard about quite a bit this morning. In their younger years, they were loved and led by people like Christine Barnes, who still remembers distracting Shay from crying in the nursery by getting him to name all the cars in the McBick parking lot. Conrad and Cindy Lehman were small group leaders for our youngest son, and they have faithfully asked about and continued to pray for Kolya some 15 years later. And Maria and Sean Greenland, who loved Shay when he was in elementary, and whose kids Shay later had the opportunity to care for in the nursery, also echoing a theme that I think we've heard this morning. In middle and high school, Aubrey Barnes provided a respite from the drama of middle school and high school attendance, creating a genuinely supportive group of girls and reminding our daughter Emma that her true identity is found in belonging to Christ. Fun activities with Sean Kleckner and Josiah Marola, spike ball, movie nights, hikes, and other outdoor activities reminded our middle son Shay that following Jesus doesn't have to be dull. Shay had a safe place to talk about mental health challenges and how to live out his faith with students and leaders who were appropriately transparent about their own struggles with similar issues. Kolya and Matt Holliday have an ongoing relationship that started with them sharing their love of building things, forging iron in Matt's garage, which made us a little nervous, to be honest, to begin with, eating meals at the holidays. Kolya ate a number of things at their house that he never would have eaten at ours, or just going out for ice cream. Matt's been a steady source of adult guidance, balancing acceptance with challenge, nudging Kolya closer to the peace and meaning that are only found in Jesus. Incidentally, Matt's suggestions were often taken much more seriously than ours, even if we were suggesting the same exact things. In all of these relationships, our kids had opportunities for honest conversation with faithful adults about hard issues, including their identity, their purpose, dating, pornography, friendships, mental health, and future life plans. Most important, they had other adults in their lives who were consistently pointing them to Jesus as a source of truth, peace, and hope. As we sang the song this morning, Run to the Father, I thought that is just such a great example of what these adults have done for the kids in our family. They've just consistently pointed them back to the Father. They have also shared our kids' burdens and our kids' joys, and they've done that for us as parents as well. At McBick, in all areas of children and youth services, I would say that Jesus has a lot of different names, and we're thankful for all of them.
We're also very thankful for the meaningful teaching and worship that has happened while our kids were going through children and youth ministry. All from preschool up through high school, we were never doubting whether they were receiving strong biblical teaching. With Cody, with Evan, and the other pastors who served while our kids were growing up, we know that they received firm biblical teaching. And even with Belle up here earlier this morning, it reminded me of when our kid, at least one of our kids was in preschool ministry. They were teaching about Jesus' miracles, and one of the books which we still talk about was, Jesus did not turn the water into wine. Jesus turned the water into special party juice, and so we still refer to that sometimes as the special party juice. So. Also, the discipleship that our kids experienced has been invaluable, with Cody spending so much time with Shay and with Kolya especially, even while they're no longer in, quote, high school youth ministry. And in fact, Cody in his sabbatical was over in Spain. Shay is in Spain studying for the semester. They hung out for several days while they were over there. And also just with Kolya and Cody connecting, and Kolya continuing to reach out to Cody when he was needed there. An emphasis of youth and children's ministry has been showing Christ's love to others by service, and our 3 children were able to take advantage of those opportunities, service trips to Jamaica, Guatemala, Memphis, while also doing some of the local service trips here, just serving in Harrisburg, serving the local homes here in Mechanicsburg. We were very, very happy for that. And then that transferred down into our kids serving here in church, in children's ministry, jump team for Emma with the worship in elementary school. And even Shay, I think, one time served on the mowing crew. So I don't know if that counts as service or not, but he was there. So I'd like to sum this all up with a story that demonstrates how people at McBick value each person. One of our children was struggling with mental health issues and was being, the living situation was changing very, very rapidly for this child. And we knew that a lot of changes were going to happen, and there were so many, dozens of texts happening within probably a 12-hour period, so much that pastors, leaders, friends were able to rearrange their schedules and meet with this child and Jennifer and I, 10 o'clock on a Thursday morning, readjusting schedules, and spent well over an hour in prayer before this child left for treatment. So we are very, very thankful for how just the people here minister to the child, but also by doing that, minister to Jennifer and me. And we know that we have the support of the leaders, the pastors, and our family here at McBick.
Yeah, well, we hope you heard the depth of experience that all generations get to have here at McBick. We're going to sing a final worship song. I know some of you are trying to tame little people, so we'll kind of use this song as our sending out. So please join us in singing. If you feel like you need to release yourself, that's fine too. But it's a song called Living Hope, which I think is fitting in that every stage of ministry here at McBick, we are trying to point young people. Leaders are experiencing the hope that is found in Jesus. So I think it's fitting that we end with this song. I'm going to pray for us and then invite you to sing with us, to go if you need to go. But let me pray. Lord, we thank you for all that we heard this morning, for young people sharing from kindergarten up through parents whose kids started in kindergarten and graduated through high school. We thank you that this has been a place for them to experience your presence, to experience your nearness, your life. We thank you that as students engage with leaders, engage with peers, you are found in those encounters. And we thank you for all that you've done in people's lives as they've met with you. And we ask that you would continue to bless the ministries here, that this would be more than just an event, more than a program that people come to, but would be a holy place where young people, middle-aged people, older folks can meet with the living God. And so we end this time worshiping you. You are our hope, God. And thank you that you've given hope to so many of us here at McBick. We love you, Lord. We pray this in your name. And everyone said, amen.